We've come here to the George Cinemas in St Kilda to bring you tonight's film review, which is of Mike Leigh's new film, Secrets and Lies. Now, when you think Mike Leigh, do you think bleak, depressing, comedy that is strictly on the black side? Well, think again. Secrets and Lies has all the trademarks of your regular multi-award-winning Mike Leigh film, but with one major difference. It also has a heart. The story centres around a young black optometrist called Hortense, played by Marianne Jean-Baptiste. When the film begins, her adoptive mother has just died, her father's already dead, and one of the ways she tries to deal with her grief is by embarking on a search for her natural mother. Now, the woman she finds, Cynthia, played by Brenda Blethyn, is not only a seemingly unsympathetic character. She whinges, she's emotional, and she's not terribly bright, but she's also white.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but I'm trying to locate a Cynthia Purley.
Yes?
Is that Cynthia Purley?
Yes?
Cynthia Rose Purley?
Yes.
Of 76 Quilter Street.
What is it you want, darling? Hello? Did you want Roxanne? She's gone out.
No.
She ain't in any trouble, is she?
No, it's about Elizabeth.
Elizabeth who?
Elizabeth Purley.
Oh, I wish she's dead.
No, she isn't.
She is, darling. I should know.
I should know.
Look, sweetheart, she's my mother. She went in 1961.
No, I mean baby Elizabeth Purley.
Baby Elizabeth? Who is this?
She was born on the 23rd of July, 1968. Sorry about this. At the Haven, Wells Grange Avenue, Sutton, Surrey. Look, I'm sorry, I know this must be a shock to you.
So far, so Mike Leigh. Now, Cynthia's brother, played by Timothy Spall, is by all appearances enjoying a life of greater privilege. He runs a successful photography business and lives in a pretensions to middle-class suburb with his wife, played by Phyllis Logan. But of course, with a title like this, they have a few skeletons rattling around in their closet too. Now, I don't want to tell you too much about the plot because the way it unfolds is one of the great pleasures of the film. Suffice to say, it all winds up in a ubiquitous family party scene with revelations galore and more than a few tantrums. Now, one of the great features of Mike Leigh's work is his fine ensemble work and his acerbic scripts. In fact, to this day, if you turn around to somebody in England and say, "I've got beautiful lips," yes, the chances are they'll immediately recognise his brilliant and now justifiably legendary 1977 teleplay, Abigail's Party. One of the other great things about Mike Leigh's work is that he does like to work with people he knows.
We'll start with this.
Oh, there's the tank.
That's where I keep my towels and bed linen.
Just your airing cupboard.
It's not very capacious. And this is Morris's bathroom.
It's green. Matches your tank. These all new carpets, are they, sweetheart?
Oh, yes. And this is the master bedroom.
Cool. It's more like the bridal suite. Beautiful.
I've always wanted a four-poster.
I can see Morris thrashing about in there.
It is a king size.
Oh, it's like something out of a fairy tale. This cost a bob or two.
Well, it certainly wasn't cheap.
And here's another lavatory.
Oh, that bathroom's mine, the ensuite.
You've got the one each, have you? That's nice, ain't it, Jane? It's like a hotel.
You don't want to be tripping over each other.
Oh, you got everything, Monica.
So where's his friend, then?
He's here, isn't he?
No. Your mum's.
What's he talking about?
She rang me at the shop and asked me if she could bring a friend from work.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, she's never mentioned it.
No.
Peculiar.
That must be who she's been going out with. She's dark horse, isn't she?
Most of the cast of Secrets and Lies have worked with Mike Leigh before, both in theatre and film. There's even a quick cameo from Leigh's wife, Alison Steadman, forever ingrained on the English national psyche as the revolting Abigail, but probably better known here in Australia for her recent turn as Mrs. Bennet in Pride and Prejudice. But cameos aside, the performances throughout are superb. Not only did the film itself win the Palme d'Or and the International Critics Prize at Cannes last year, but Brenda Blethyn also took home the Best Actress award, and deservedly too. She is breathtakingly good in a performance that sometimes is so emotionally raw, it's kind of painful to watch. Marianne Jean-Baptiste is very touching in the less showy role of Hortense, whilst actors like Timothy Spall, Leslie Manville and Phyllis Logan are all very much at home with Lee's material. But for me, the standout performance, aside from Brenda Blethyn, is Claire Rushbrook as Roxanne, Cynthia's daughter. In her scenes with her mother, Roxanne is monosyllabic at best and downright vicious at worst. It's one of those performances that really makes you want to meet the actor, a bit like Mira Sorvino in Mighty Aphrodite. You can't quite believe that she doesn't act and behave like that in real life. Utterly believable.
I don't know what's got into you lately.
You complaining?
No.
Well, shut up then.
Sit here on my own for years on end. Can't get you to stop in at all. Now you never go out.
Leave it, Aunt.
You've been sitting there for a month with a face like a slapped arse.
Well, what's there to smile about?
Thought he might have phoned it the weekend.
Who?
Who do you think? Ain't heard from him for ages.
He's busy, isn't he?
We're all busy.
He's got his weddings and that. It's the summer.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Well, if you're that bothered, why don't you ring him yourself? He's your brother.
I'm not running up my phone bill. He knows where I am if he wants me. He'd have had us up there to see it by now, I expect, if it weren't for her. Toffee-nosed cow.
But back to that matter of heart. Now, all that I've said so far might have persuaded you that, yes, Mike Leigh has crafted another admirable film worthy of all the accolades heaped upon it. But are you also aware of a certain feeling of trepidation, a bit of a, I don't think I can face another deeply depressing flick about the plight of the underprivileged sort of film? Well, don't worry. Banish such worries forthwith, because somewhat like Marlene Goris with Antonia's line, Lee's political concerns and social concerns are still very much in evidence here, but it's still his most upbeat work in years. The sheer dignity, compassion, and yes, I'll even say it, humanity suffused throughout this movie will make your heart swell. In fact, I can only remember one false note through the whole thing, and that's when Timothy Spall suddenly has to exclaim, "Secrets and lies!" Yes, it's always a bit of a clunker when the title is mentioned in a play or a film, and this is no exception. But don't worry about that. See Secrets and Lies and marvel that such a grumpy-looking old curmudgeon as Mike Leigh has made a film that will send you back out into the real world with a great big grin on your face. That's it for now. See you next time. The film adaptation of David Williamson's play Brilliant Lies is currently in your cinemas. We went to the Como Hotel in South Yarra to chat to one of the stars, Zoe Carides. Now Zoe, what was it like working with an old scene stealer like Ray Barrett?
It was fantastic. He's an amazing actor. And I have worked with some very good actors in my time, but he really does have something quite different about him, and I can't really say what it is. We were generally quieter on set, because we used to, Gia and Anthony and I especially Gia and I, used to giggle a lot and carry on and be, you know, ranting and smoking and carrying on like this. And around Ray, we didn't as much, but he, it didn't bother me that he took over, because his character was taking over the scene anyway. So it was okay, it was fitting and right and proper, and our characters were fighting for space within the family structure, and that's exactly what we did. And so he was attempting to take over, I suppose, as a character, and our characters were lashing back and fighting back, and especially with me and him when we have our little tirade after Gia leaves the room to go off to another party. And that was great actually, and he was, when we were almost dancing around each other, and that just happened quite naturally, and Richard was very happy with that, because he was at that stage, Ray's character was at that stage talking about the dance of the sexes and all that sort of stuff, and we were just kind of avoiding each other. Not meaning to. I was standing over by the wall and he came towards me and I just didn't want to be there. I went around there.
I do think there is a profound magic in that indefinable and mysterious difference between man and woman. A mystery that kept me tantalized and intrigued by your mother till her dying day.
Dad, sometimes you talk such shit I can't stand it anymore. You were out screwing drunken sluts for years while Mum was still alive. It drove her crazy.
That to me is one of the deepest mysteries. I mean, how could a man who loved a woman as I loved your mother do that? It's a question I keep asking myself every day of my life.
Yeah, well, you know, the question I'm still asking myself, Dad,
Katie,
birthday
don't.
and all, is what kind of temporary insanity caused our mother to marry you?
Katie?
Did you have charisma once? After the wedding, did a horse kick you in the head? If she had to go and get herself married, why to you?
You're right. You're right. There were much better men than I was chasing her. Why me? Again, you see, it's one of those profound mysteries in the dance of the sexes.
What was the biggest attraction for you for doing this film? Was it working with Gia, or was it the script itself?
Well, the main thing was to work with Gia at first, and then I read the script. If I hadn't liked the script, I wouldn't have done it just to work with her. But the script is great, and we sat on either end of our couch in the flat we were sharing in Sydney and read it and just went, looks good.
How did you feel about playing a lesbian feminist?
Oh, great. I just wanted a love scene, but there wasn't. At first when I looked through, I thought, oh, gee, it's got a big part in there, like this. And then, but, you know, the role of Katie was more challenging for me because I actually haven't played anybody who's quite strong and forthright very often. I mean, the character I played on GP was, but she was also sort of bright and bubbly as well and had all that side going on. Excuse me. Whereas Katie, I mean, you didn't often get to see a smile on Katie's face, which is quite hard for me because I tend to, especially on a film set, just go into that natural thing because that's what I always play. So I'm sort of, okay, there's a camera around, I'm ready and rearing to bung that on. And it was not suitable for this character at all most of the time. She had a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of worries, like when we meet her, a lot on her plate. So you know, there's definitely humour there. And I just came in and I said, look, I really like to wear a baseball cap. I had to keep my hair long for the show that I was doing. Otherwise, I actually think I would have gone for a short haircut because you know, my friends that are gay have all got short hair. There's one that's got long hair, and she's a cop actually. Who can tell? Anyway, maybe so she can put in a bun or something. But yeah, so I would have done that if I didn't have another project to come back to, because I think that's kind of a good look. Sorry, I keep coughing. I just gave up smoking 8 days ago.
Well done.
Thank you. But yeah, I said I want to wear a baseball cap when I'm driving the cab because I think that's good, keep the hair off the face. And I didn't want to. They were talking about maybe going for like lots of waistcoats and things, and I said, oh, maybe a couple of waistcoats, but let's not go down that total road there. And you know, and and again, basing on my friends in Sydney who are gay, I just thought, you know, the 501s and the just, you know, that look. And I didn't think she was a lipstick girl necessarily, partly because like when you're driving a cab, I don't think you probably want to draw that any sort of attention to yourself, I would imagine. And just, I don't know, she was like a no-nonsense type woman, but I also think having a sister like Susie possibly would have, if she was ever going to go into kind of dressing up or, you know, curling her hair or putting makeup on, I think that would be kept at a distance because she has a sister like Susie. She'd see that and go, oh, forget it, you know.
time about sexual harassment and everything. And if you write a play that's based on issues and then you film it, because films always take so much longer than a play, do you think there's a danger of something being dated by the time it reaches the screens, or do you think it's an ongoing?
I think it's an ongoing one. I mean, there's a couple of really big cases happening in the States at the moment, I think. So. And sometimes I feel envious of what she's doing over there. Yeah, she's doing a film with Luke Perry at the moment in New York, and you know, sometimes I think, right, okay, she's over, and we talk to each other about it. And I said to her, you know, God, you're over there doing this. I'm trying to find somebody to look after my kids so I can go and do a voiceover. You know, it's like sometimes it doesn't feel fair, but then it's okay too. And like, what is fair? And I called Chunk, which we made over this year and a half whenever we